Hi friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at you. Um, today's video is going to be part 8 in our series of aging in place. And what I try to do with this series is talk about issues that affect the seniors and the senior citizens. If you're one, it potentially could affect you. But if you've got folks in your family circle that are over 70, I guess, would be a good line of demarcation there. We need to be on guard for getting scammed. And what I'm talking about is as you get older, the chances that you will be taken advantage of become very real. So stick around, I'll get into a whole bunch of detail. The house that we live in is about 45 years old, and we have done extensive upgrades to the house itself. Um, Roofing, siding, windows, doors, all that kind of stuff that happens as houses get older. You've got to replace certain components of your house to keep it all intact. And we've been very lucky, I think, up to a certain point, and we'll get into that. Been very lucky with the contractors that we have used for this kind of work, for the roofing, for the siding, for the windows, for the doors, those kinds of things. And once we zeroed in on the right contractor, we ended up with very pleasant experiences all the way around. And I just can't compliment the professionalism of the contractors that we do use for the work that we need done around here. Once every year, probably in the winter time while we're sitting around waiting for spring, my wife and I will sit down and say, well, what do you want to tackle this year? And this year ended up at the top of the list was to get a new front door. The front door that we had there was 45 years old, and it was starting to deteriorate. It wouldn't close right. The locks didn't quite fit anymore as the house shifted and moved and all that. And so it was time to investigate what a new door was going to cost us. So my wife contacted a national firm, and I won't mention their names because you can email me, I guess, if you want, and I'll let you know that. But I'm not going to berate them on YouTube today, anyway. So she contacted them, and they sent their guy out to the house, and he was a pretty sharp guy, seemed to know what he was talking about, had all the right kinds of samples and options available and all this, and very detailed measurements of the door and the doorway. We've got a front door with two side panels, one on either side, that are glass, and at least halfway down they're glass, and then from there down they're wood. They were wood, and the door was wooden, and it was time to replace it. So he went through the whole thing, measured it up, got together with his crew, and came up with an estimate. And that estimate was about $8,600. And I thought, gee, that feels a little high. So I said, well, we're going to need to get a second or even a third estimate to find out what the market really is going to cost us. And the the so we contacted a group that we have done business with in the past, and the guy basically said, well, send me their specifications and their measurements, and I'll give you a quote. And then if that looks fairly good, we'll send out our guy to do the exact measurements, all that. And so that's what we did. And he came back with a price of about $6,500. Well, 86 to 6,500, that's a pretty big deal. $2,000 goes a long way to keep you prepped in other areas. So we decided that because we had a very favorable experience with this group before, that we would go ahead with them. Now, we got contacted by the first group, the national group, and they said, hey, we want to send out our senior guy and have him come and talk to you about options and warranties and things like that. So we said, yeah, sure. So out he comes, and he arrives, sits down at the kitchen table. We pour him a cup of coffee, and he starts going into, oh, these are all the things that the warranty is going to cover, and how many years, and what kind of a door, and are you sure you want to go with this kind and that color, and just want to verify that we've got exactly what you're looking for to do. And so I said, well, why are you really here, other than just to verify what we already told your other guy? And well, he said, well, that's what I do. I'm the regional guy, and I follow up on initial sales calls to make sure that we've are meeting the customer's needs. So, okay, that's great. He said, did you order a storm door with that? And he's looking through the paperwork, and he says, no, I don't see it here. Did you want to get a storm door for that? And I said, well, what's the matter with the one that we just took off? Oh, well, you can't put that back up. That would void the warranty. And I said, why would it void the warranty? Well, because you got to drill holes in the frame and this and that. And but we've got storm doors that we can install for you that will keep all the warranties in place and all that kind of stuff. And I said, something doesn't sound right here. We've gotten other estimates, and I'm just not 100% sure that what we're going to be going through here is really in our best interest. And he said, well, I'd hate to see you void that warranty if you decide to put that old storm door back up. And I said, well, if that's your biggest concern, then I think we're pretty much done here. And he looked at me in shock, packed up his stuff and said, well, let us know what your final decision is, and he left. My daughter stopped by later that day, and she said, well, there's very simple reason. My daughter's pretty sharp. There's a very simple reason that guy stopped back. He said they wanted to upsell you on a storm door that you didn't originally want or need. And that was his sole purpose in coming there, was to push that $8,600 estimate up to 10 or 11,000. And I thought, well, I guess that's probably why he was here. So we went with the second estimate, with a group that was tried and true, we've done business with for years. And they showed up on the day that they said they were going to show up, and they installed the door, and it turned out to be spectacular. A huge upgrade to the door that we had, all well formed, fitted, square, plumb, um, done with real professional install, and I was very pleased with the outcome. And they got all done. Their sales guy came out afterwards, and or gal, she came out and took a look at everything, took a couple of pictures, and went over the warranty and guarantees and workmanship and all that with us. And so we wrote her a check and said, there you go. And that was the end of that. Now, what was going on there, I think, with this big national firm, and they advertise all over the place for door replacements, window replacements, bathroom remodelings, putting in walk-in showers and stuff like that. And I was just kind of taken aback by the pressure of the sales. And as I got thinking about the conversation that I had with my daughter, it became pretty obvious that they were willing to take advantage of an aging couple who probably wouldn't have known any better than what we already know. So that's part of the equation there, that we've got to be on guard at all times for any kind of work that you're going to have done around your house, on your house, roofing, siding, windows, doors, all those kinds of things that are very important. Landscaping, repairs in general that, I don't feel at my age anymore that I want to be climbing ladders and crawling around on the roof and all that. So we hire local guys to do cleaning out our eaves troughs and stuff like that. So I don't have to do it. And we've had good luck with local guys that specialize in doing eaves trough cleanings and roof repairs and stuff like that. So I think once that you've developed a good relationship with quality contractors, that you can and have a developed relationship with them, that they can really be an advocate for doing the right thing for you. There's a secondary story behind this. My granddad, back in the day, let's see, this would have been probably 1990 or 94, 5, somewhere around in there. He was in his 90s, and when he was starting to lose a little bit of his common sense, I think, and it could have been a little bit of dementia or whatever. But he hooked up with a small group that were in the neighborhood, I guess, in the same county, and they would come out. He'd have them come out and do roof repairs or fix this or fix that. And he was, I think, going through what they call nesting, and he was just trying to make sure that his house was up to speed and everything was working the way it should, and all that. And I think he was actually preparing for the eventual. And this group took advantage of him, really in a big, big way. They would come in and do some of the work, and then they'd give him some excuse that, well, while we were working on the roof, we noticed that the soffit and the fascia boards all needed to be replaced. So they upsell him on some stuff that I don't think he really needed. But he had lots of money, so nothing was to prevent him from just saying, "Oh, okay, go ahead and do it." And he did, and they would do the soffit and the fascia. They were not professional roofers. They were not professional carpenters. They were just a couple of guys that got together and did that. Well, my grandmother was still alive at the time, and she was pretty sickly, confined to a bed and all that. And my granddad had that additional burden of trying to take care of her. And oh, lo and behold, these two fellas each had a wife or a sister that was trained, that could come out and sit with her, take care, make meals, wash her, give her a bath, wash clothes, and those kinds of things. So he hired the sister and the wife of these two fellas, and they charged him right through the roof for this. Well, after a while, they ran out of little projects that he wanted done, so they would come out and deliberately do some damage. They'd break the railing on his front steps, and they'd stop by a week or so later and say, "How's everything going? Anything we can do to help you?" "Well, gee, something happened to the front step railing here. Can you guys fix that?" "Yeah, sure, we can do that." And the more, as time went by, more and more things really started happening. And they were nickel and diamond my granddad for everything he got. And I sat down with my granddad one day, and we got talking about this particular thing and the contractor that he was using. And I said, "Well, how much have you paid him?" "Oh," he said, "oh, I don't know." So he looked, he said, here's my checkbook. So I went through the checkbook, and over the last 6 months, he had given him over $20,000 or $22,000 for repairs around the house. Some of it may have been a little bit legitimate. Others were just upselling and crazy. He had given the sister and the wife about $10,000 just for them, for babysitting my grandmother. And I started investigating those guys and found out that they had criminal records, that they were under investigation by the local county sheriff for fraud and abuse and all kinds of stuff. So I got in touch with a friend of mine who was on the local police department, and he and I got together with my grandfather, and they put an end to it. Those two fellas never showed up again. So there's a real chance and a real possibility that as we get older and we become more vulnerable, not because we're dumb, not because we're just anything, but just getting older, and they think that they can take advantage of us, and that's what happened to my granddad. So let's take a lesson, learn from these kinds of stories. Whenever you need work done around your house, make sure you get a number of estimates from reliable contractors in your area. Compare those estimates with each other and make the right kind of decisions. Be informed about the reputation and quality of work that the contractors that you're dealing with, what their history is. So that's the lessons there. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you that there are perils in aging. And when we age in place, like right here at our homestead, we have to be on alert. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see y'all on the next video.